Welcome to First Person Defender. Real people put into realistic self-defense training scenarios.
These are real scenarios.
Hey, give me your money.
The role player does not know what's going to happen. We go through the first scenario, see how they handle it, and then we pick one thing that they could have done to increase their survivability, train it a little bit, and then run them through a similar scenario.
Each weapon is loaded with Simunition FX marking cartridges, the most realistic, non-lethal alternative to live ammunition. Simunition is the closest thing to the real deal.
Once you feel the pain penalty once, you don't want to feel it again.
For this type of force-on-force training, role players are required to wear protective gear.
Come on, hit me.
It is as real as it gets. Heart rate's elevated, their respiratory rate's elevated, their adrenaline is dumping into their blood. They are scared and amped up.
I got a gun! Back off!
Get out of my house!
I'm Lori Petoskey. I'm the Marketing Communications Manager for Ruger Firearms. I wasn't much of a shooter before I started working at Ruger, but now I really consider myself confident when it comes to handling handguns, especially.
What we have set up for Lori is essentially she's leaving a shopping center, something we see every day, a mother carrying her baby and bags of groceries, and someone's gonna come up and try and kidnap the baby.
Well, I've worked with Greg and Destin before. It's been a few years. I'm excited to work with them again. I have no idea what they have in store for me, but I'm nervous and excited to see.
Lori's great to work with. She's a good shooter. She's smart, so hopefully we'll see some good results.
After our Simunition safety brief, Lori put on her gear and was ready for the first scenario.
All right, so this fine building in front of us is a grocery store.
Okay.
All right, you're just going grocery shopping. This is your child.
The whole thing started off with a curveball when they handed me a baby.
This is your grocery bag.
I did not think that I would have to worry about anybody but myself.
All you're doing is you just finished shopping, and all you're doing is walking out to your vehicle to basically go home.
Okay.
All right, hold tight right here.
I'm nervous, especially now that kids involved.
It's nerve-wracking. You know something's gonna happen. You hope that you can react appropriately.
So as she comes out of the building, we had a couple people walk up to her and ask her, you know, hey, it's a cute baby. I'm gonna show you some pictures of my kid. Try to engage her in conversation.
She's adorable. How old is she?
She's just small, thanks.
Oh, really? Mine's 7 months. Check it out.
Felt a little suspicious. I tried to brush him off and move away, which I was able to do.
You in my truck?
But then he got into a conflict with somebody else. The whole thing just, it had me on edge. I didn't know if that confrontation was gonna spill over onto me somehow. So I was trying to stay towards the rear of my vehicle, put the groceries in my purse away, and just tried to keep an eye on that situation that was happening in front of my car. And then Destin came and started asking me for jumper cables.
Hey man, can you do me a favor and help me get my car started?
I can't help, I don't have cables.
Do you have any jumper cables or anything?
Nope, I don't have anything.
You don't have anything?
Car won't start. Can I borrow some jumper cables? Even if she had them or not, it's good on her to say, hey, look, I don't have any. Just kind of, you know, I'm in a hurry. I've got to go.
How old's your daughter?
She's young.
How
We
old?
gotta get going though.
The one thing that she did do was let me get close, and that's one thing that we really want to push.
Is this a girl?
Yeah. I was more concerned about trying to move away from him and get into the vehicle, and in that process I put myself in a tight spot. I got stuck in between the two cars and he lunged at me.
Can I see her?
No.
Please? Please.
Stop. Let's go!
The Ruger LC380 is the perfect pairing of the award-winning LC9 pistol and the popular 380 auto cartridge. It features a dovetailed high-visibility 3-dot sight system, 7-round magazine, and finger grip extension floor plate. The Ruger LC380, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Nosler Defense ammunition is loaded up front with the bonded performance line of bonded core defense bullets. Professionals trust their next move to Nosler Defense.
When the bomb by design. M&P, advanced by design.
I was more concerned about trying to move away from him and get into the vehicle, and in that process I put myself in a tight spot. I got stuck in between the two cars and he lunged at me.
Can I see her?
Oh.
Please?
I kind of covered myself over the baby in an attempt to protect him, but that didn't give me any way to get to my firearm. It really was the wrong move.
Stop! Let go! Let go! Let go now! But I was able to get some distance. I pushed back away from him. He still wouldn't leave and kept confronting me.
You sure it's okay?
So eventually I pulled the firearm on him and told him to get away from me.
You don't need for all that.
Get in your car and drive away. Drive away.
All right, index. I got this. Holster up. Well, what'd you think?
Well, that was tough because you had two different threats, what felt like threats coming at you. That scenario going on, which I didn't feel comfortable with.
Right, that was
clear.
clear.
And then he came over.
Yeah.
And that was already shook me up, so,
Okay. Once you kind of felt, because I could see once you felt what he was doing, he was pushing, and rather than actually making a decisive move, you were kind of afraid of offending him or whatever it may be. We live in a society where if you tell someone to back up, to look away, don't not to talk to me, well, you're considered rude, and people don't want to hurt people's feelings.
When they start getting like this close and reaching, just say, you are way beyond my personal space.
If you don't let someone inside your reactionary gap, you increase your odds exponentially, because now you're not letting me physically get my hands on you. If he really wanted to, he probably could have.
He could have overpowered me.
Yeah, swept you up, taken you down. Especially women, they have to understand disparity of force. Men are typically bigger and much stronger and can overpower you.
And the way he went for the kid, I mean, that would have hurt a lot if it was a real
Right.
a real child.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it would have been that much harder with a screaming baby.
Oh yeah.
For me to hold on to her. She
Yeah.
would be freaking out too. So
Absolutely. You want to work on creating distance and moving? Shooting one hand, protectee drill?
Yeah, definitely. Let's just take what we learned here and go to
Yeah.
the range and do some training.
All right, sounds good.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go do it.
We're gonna work on creating space while we're drawing our weapon and what we call the protectee drill, which we teach with children if we're holding a child or if we're walking with a loved one.
If we have that child in our support arm, as you draw your pistol, you'll just quarter your body away. Obviously wanting to put yourself in front of the child and the adversary.
We're basically shielding that child behind us as we're drawing our weapon, driving the gun out. So our body's slightly bladed, but using our body as protection for our own loved one.
So think about as you move away, now you're going to move the garment, draw, and aim in. As I aim in, I rotate the shoulder forward, putting that baby even further away from the adversary.
Okay.
And as we shoot, you can sidestep back, or you can also kind of pivot your hips back, keep your toes pointed while you're aiming in, and then just heel toe backwards.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of have two different options, see which one works best for you.
All right.
So I'll do it live fire one time for you. And
Do you want to hold the baby?
I'll simulate the baby. That thing looks heavy. So we get in that altercation, we're exchanging verbals, telling him to get away, get away. I see a weapon or he goes for the baby. I'm gonna turn, draw, as I work my way back, issuing out commands, get back, get back, get back. Follow him down to the ground. Make sure myself and the baby are protected. And then I can, of course, scan my area, scan my 360. Again, check the baby, make sure that she's not hurt. And then we can go to admin and then reholster the weapon.
Okay.
Okay? All right, let's go here to this target on the left. I'll be right here on your left side.
Okay.
On the command of gun, we'll be simulating that he's going for the kid. All right, going high. Shooter ready.
Ready.
Stand by. Gun! All right, excellent, excellent. All right, let me take the kid. I'm sure with that shot placement, looks awesome down there. That would definitely deter me.
All right.
And we'd be good to go. So
Good
now
deal.
let's go back out and run the scenario again, see how you do.
Okay.
Cops, the baddest tactical 1911 on the planet.
The key requirement for a self-defense gun is that it works. Some pistols don't feed hollow point ammo well, but full metal jacket bullets don't expand, so they aren't as good at stopping attackers. Enter tipped bullets. These are hollow point bullets, good for expansion, with a plastic tip to give them a rounded point, great for reliable feeding. Nosler Defense Ammo offers both, hollow point or tipped bonded bullets, so you can choose what works best in your firearm. First Person Defender, brought to you by Ruger Firearms, Smith & Wesson, Nosler, Crimson Trace, and Remington.
We've gone through a few minutes of training, put her back in the scenario, and if she shows improvement, then she's obviously retaining what we taught her.
The FPD crew briefly discussed how the second scenario would differ from the first.
I'm not the bad guy this time.
For this scenario, Lori is arriving at her destination and the child is in the back seat. She must safely remove the child and make her way to the store.
Situational awareness is always something that you have to have. You have to know your environment and prepare, for the worst.
Back away! Get the away from me! I got a lot more distance. I was able to get to my firearm. Once I drew the pistol on him, I wanted to go into the store to get help. Hey, somebody call the cops! Let's go after my baby! It's amazing how fast a situation like that can boil over, but if you keep your bearings and you do the right things, you can end it rather quickly too.
Hi, index.
I think I did a much better job the second time around protecting the baby, giving some space, but making sure that the person that I was trying to protect the most was away from the danger. I didn't do that the first time.
You created distance decisively. When did you see him coming up to you?
I didn't see him right away. I noticed there was someone in the car. He kind of surprised me. He was pretty close by the time I caught him.
Yeah.
And that's you also knowing that it's coming. She was not privy to the scenario, but she knew something was going to happen. So now you take that same scenario to somebody just doing their day-to-day. They got the coffee in their hand, the kid, cell phone, all these things that they're thinking about. Now you see how fast it unfolds and you're expecting it to happen.
Obviously, there was a marked improvement on her second run. She made more decisive actions. She created distance. One of the biggest things is she didn't fire any rounds. She didn't shoot him, and that's fine. We're not advocating anybody to shoot people unnecessarily.
I was able to end a scenario using a firearm to slow it all down and make sure that that person went away, but I didn't have to fire. I'm proud of that fact.
And she protected her baby, didn't drop the baby. She learned a lot.
Just because you carry a gun doesn't mean that it has to be the thing that you go to and that you have to shoot somebody. At the end of the day, if you can use it to walk away from the situation without anybody having new holes in them, I think that's successful.
All in all, Lori did awesome.